She discovered her fiancé's betrayal 24 hours before her wedding. Her revenge was perfect. Maya's hand trembled as she held the champagne glass, watching her fiancé Lucas stand at the head table, his perfect smile gleaming under the reception hall's crystal chandeliers. In exactly 24 hours, she would be his wife. But the USB drive burning in her clutch told a different story, one that would turn their fairy tale wedding into a funeral. "To my beautiful bride," Lucas began, his voice smooth as silk, and Maya felt her stomach twist. She'd received the anonymous package that morning, addressed to her at the hotel. No note, just a single USB drive. When she'd plugged it into her laptop, expecting maybe a sweet video message or prank from her bridesmaids, what she found instead made her blood run cold. The secret he kept. Welcome to Heartfire Obsession. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. 3 weeks ago, while Maya had been finalizing seating charts and confirming the caterer, Lucas had been with someone else. Not just anyone, her maid of honor, Vanessa. Her best friend since college. The woman who'd helped her pick out her wedding dress, who'd thrown her bachelorette party, who'd promised to stand beside her through everything. The videos were time-stamped. Multiple occasions, hotel rooms she didn't recognize. His apartment, their apartment, on afternoons when Maya had been at work, building the marketing career she'd sacrificed so much for. The latest video was from 4 days ago. 4 days before their rehearsal dinner. "Maya makes me want to be a better man," Lucas continued, and the guests awed. Maya's mother dabbed at her eyes. Vanessa, standing in her lavender bridesmaid dress just 3 feet away, smiled adoringly at Lucas, then caught Maya's eye and winked. That wink, conspiratorial, affectionate, nearly made Maya scream. The woman who sent the truth. But Maya didn't scream. She smiled back, lifted her glass, and let Lucas finish his toast. She'd learned something crucial in the 6 hours since opening that package. The sender had included a second file. A document, bank statements, text messages, email threads. Lucas and Vanessa had been planning something beyond just an affair. They were planning to take everything. The architecture firm Maya had helped Lucas build with her trust fund, the one her grandmother had left her, was slowly being drained. Vanessa, who worked as a forensic accountant, had been helping him create shell companies, offshore accounts, ghost employees. They'd been siphoning money for 8 months. The wedding was supposed to be the final act. Once they were married, Lucas would have legal claim to Maya's remaining assets. Then, based on the texts, he'd file for divorce within a year, citing irreconcilable differences, and walk away with half of everything, plus whatever they'd already stolen. Vanessa's last message to him, sent yesterday morning, "After tomorrow, we're free. Just play the devoted groom for 1 more day. She'll never see it coming." The calm before her storm. Speech. Speech. Someone called, and suddenly all eyes turned to Maya. Lucas extended his hand toward her, that charming smile still in place, completely unaware that she knew everything. Maya stood slowly, gracefully, the way her mother had taught her. She was beautiful, everyone said so. Dark hair in perfect waves, amber eyes that seemed to hold secrets, a figure that turned heads. She'd been the prize Lucas wanted to win, and he had. Until this morning. "Thank you all for being here," Maya began, her voice steady despite the rage building like a storm in her chest. "Tomorrow is supposed to be the happiest day of my life." She paused, let the guests murmur their agreement. "I've spent a year planning this wedding. Every detail, every flower, every song, everything perfect." Lucas beamed at her. Vanessa's smile was starting to look strained. "But I've realized something important," Maya continued. "Sometimes the most beautiful things are built on lies." The room went quiet. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones sharpening knives behind your back. She turned to look directly at Vanessa, whose face had gone pale. Sometimes your best friend is sleeping with your fiancé. The silence that followed was deafening. Everything falls apart. Lucas lunged forward. Maya, what are you? I have videos, Maya said calmly, pulling out her phone. The room erupted in gasps and whispers as she connected it to the venue's projection system. Would you like to see them? Or should I start with the bank statements showing how you've been stealing from me for 8 months? Vanessa bolted for the door. Lucas grabbed Maya's wrist, his charming mask finally cracking. You can't do this, he hissed. Do you have any idea how much money I've put into this wedding? My money, Maya corrected, jerking her arm free. Every penny, and I want it back. It's too late, Lucas snarled, dropping all pretense. We're getting married tomorrow. You've already signed the prenup. Maya smiled then, cold and sharp. Actually, I haven't. My lawyer informed me this afternoon that the prenup you had drawn up is invalid. It was never properly witnessed. Funny thing, Lucas. Vanessa was supposed to be one of the witnesses, but she forgot to sign. She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper only he could hear. You tried to rob me. You failed. But I'm not done with either of you. Not even close. The vanishing act. By the time Maya's family and friends had absorbed the shock, by the time hotel security arrived to escort Lucas out, by the time Maya's lawyer appeared with police officers to discuss the fraud investigation, Vanessa had disappeared. But Maya knew something no one else did. That anonymous package hadn't just contained evidence against Lucas and Vanessa. It had contained something else. A note, tucked in the bottom of the envelope, written in elegant script. They took something from me too. Now we take everything from them. Meet me tomorrow. Same church. Noon. Maya had no idea who A was. But as she stood in the empty reception hall, watching servers dismantle what should have been her celebration, she knew one thing with absolute certainty. Tomorrow wasn't going to be about a wedding. Tomorrow was going to be about revenge. And whoever A was, they were about to become her most valuable ally. Maya arrived at Sacred Heart Cathedral at 11:45 am, wearing the simple black dress she'd planned for her going-away outfit. The parking lot was empty except for one silver Mercedes. Her wedding dress hung in her apartment, still in its preservation bag, a $15,000 ghost of the life she'd almost lived. The church doors were unlocked. Maya stepped inside, her heels echoing on marble floors where she should have been walking down the aisle. The morning light filtered through stained glass, casting colored shadows across empty pews. You're early, a woman's voice called from the altar. Maya turned to find a striking woman in her early 30s, tall and elegant, with platinum blonde hair and ice blue eyes. She wore a designer suit that probably cost more than Maya's car, and she held herself with the kind of confidence that came from power. I'm punctual, Maya corrected, walking down the aisle toward her. Who are you, and why did you send me that package? The other woman. The woman smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. My name is Adriana Cole, and I sent you that package because Lucas and Vanessa destroyed my life 2 years ago. She gestured to the front pew. Please, sit. This is going to take a while. Maya remained standing. I'm not in the mood for dramatic reveals. Just tell me what they did. Adriana's smile faded. Lucas and I were engaged. I was 29, successful, running my own tech startup. We met at a conference in San Francisco. He was charming, attentive, everything I thought I wanted. She paused. Vanessa was my business partner. Maya's breath caught. Vanessa worked for you? With me, Adriana corrected. We built the company together. Cole Grant technologies. We developed cybersecurity software for Fortune 500 companies. It was worth $40 million when they took it from me. The pattern revealed. Maya sank into the pew, her legs suddenly weak. How? The same way they tried with you, Adriana said, sitting beside her. Lucas courted me, made me fall in love, convinced me to put him on the company accounts as my fiancé. Vanessa was my best friend, my confidante. She handled all our finances. Adriana's voice grew cold. They spent a year draining funds, creating false contracts, selling company secrets to competitors. By the time I discovered it, my company was bankrupt, my reputation destroyed, and they'd vanished with everything. Why didn't you go to the police? I did, Adriana said bitterly. But they'd covered their tracks perfectly. Shell companies in 3 countries, forged signatures, manufactured evidence that made it look like I'd been embezzling from my own company. I was investigated for fraud. I lost everything, my business, my credibility, my investors. She turned to Maya, her eyes blazing. They didn't just steal my money, they stole my life. The alliance forms. Maya felt rage building in her chest, hot and consuming. So, you've been tracking them? For 2 years, Adriana confirmed. I rebuilt myself from nothing, sold my family's estate, started over, and I've been watching them. Waiting. They change identities, move cities, find new targets. You're the 5th woman Lucas has done this to. Vanessa's been his partner in every single con. 5 women? Maya whispered. 5 that I know of, Adriana said. The first was a widow in Seattle. They took her husband's life insurance payout. The second was a doctor in Portland. They destroyed her medical practice. The third was a real estate developer in Denver. They tanked her business and stole her properties. The fourth was me. She looked at Maya. You were supposed to be number 5, but I couldn't let it happen again. Maya's hands clenched into fists. Where are they now? Vanessa's in a hotel downtown under an assumed name. Lucas is trying to access the accounts he thought he'd secured. Your lawyer's injunction caught him off guard. Adriana pulled out a tablet, showing Maya a map with blinking dots. I've been tracking their phones, their credit cards, everything. They're getting desperate. The plan takes shape. What do you want from me? Maya asked. Partnership, Adriana said simply. I want to destroy them. Not just recover what they stole, I want them to lose everything they've taken from all of us. I want them in prison, penniless, and publicly humiliated. She met Maya's eyes. But I can't do it alone. I need someone on the inside. Someone they think is heartbroken and vulnerable. Maya understood immediately. You want me to make them think they can still win? Exactly, Adriana said. Lucas is arrogant. He thinks you exposed him in anger, that you'll cool down, that he can manipulate you into dropping the charges if he apologizes convincingly enough. Vanessa thinks she can disappear and start over. They don't know I exist. They don't know I've been building a case for 2 years. They don't know I have evidence linking them to every woman they've destroyed. What's the plan? Adriana smiled, and this time it was predatory. We make them believe they can fix this. We let Lucas think he can win you back. We let Vanessa think she's gotten away. And while they're busy trying to salvage their con, we're going to take everything from them. Their money, their freedom, their future. She leaned closer. But more than that, we're going to make them hurt the way they made us hurt. The first move. Maya thought of every lie Lucas had told her, every time Vanessa had smiled to her face while sleeping with her fiancé, every moment of trust that had been weaponized against her. She thought of the other women, strangers whose lives had been destroyed by the same people who'd almost destroyed hers. I'm in, Maya said. What do I do first? Adriana handed her a phone. Text Lucas. Tell him you overreacted, that you're willing to talk. Meet him somewhere public. Let him think he's back in control. He'll never believe I'd forgive him. He will, Adriana assured her, because men like Lucas always believe they can talk their way out of anything, and women like Vanessa always believe they're smarter than everyone else. Their arrogance is their weakness. Maya took the phone, her hands steady now. And then? Then we spring the trap, Adriana said. I've spent 2 years preparing for this. I have accounts ready, evidence compiled, connections in law enforcement who want to see these two behind bars. All we need is for them to make one more mistake, one more theft, one more lie, one more attempt to con someone. She stood, extending her hand. Help me finish this, and I promise you they'll regret ever hearing your name. The text message. Maya typed out the message carefully. Lucas, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need to talk. Alone. Tomorrow, noon, at the coffee shop where you proposed. Please, M. She hit send before she could second-guess herself. 3 minutes later, her phone buzzed with his response. I knew you'd understand. I can explain everything. I love you, Maya. Always have. See you tomorrow. Maya stared at the words, at the casual manipulation, the effortless lie. She thought of how many times he'd said I love you while stealing from her, while sleeping with her best friend, while planning to destroy her life. He took the bait, she said quietly. Adriana nodded. Of course he did. Now comes the hard part. What's that? Making him believe you still love him, Adriana said, because the deeper he falls into the trap, the more evidence we get and the longer his prison sentence becomes. Maya looked at the phone, at Lucas's message, at the lies wrapped in false affection. Then she looked at Adriana, at this stranger who'd saved her from the same fate she'd suffered, and she made a decision that would change everything. I can do that, Maya said. I can make him believe anything, because unlike him, I'm actually a good actress. Adriana smiled. Then let's destroy them. But neither woman noticed the figure watching from the church balcony, or the camera recording their every word, or the phone call being placed to warn Lucas and Vanessa that their victims had just become hunters. The game was changing, and no one was safe anymore. Maya arrived at Cup of Bliss 15 minutes early, wearing the soft blue sweater Lucas had always loved and the perfume he'd bought her last Christmas. She'd styled her hair the way he preferred, loose waves, natural makeup, vulnerable. Everything about her appearance said, I'm hurt, I'm confused, I still love you. It was all a lie. Through her designer sunglasses, she scanned the coffee shop. Adriana had assured her that her team was in position, undercover investigators posing as customers, recording devices hidden in Maya's purse and jewelry, backup waiting outside. Everything was perfect, except for the envelope that had been slipped under Maya's hotel room door at 6 a.m. that morning. Inside were photos, Maya and Adriana in the church, their conversation by the altar, close-ups of Adriana's tablet showing the tracking information, and a note in familiar handwriting. Did you really think we wouldn't find out? See you at noon, but not for the reasons you think. V. The double cross revealed. Maya's blood had run cold. She'd called Adriana immediately, but the number went straight to voicemail. She'd driven to the address Adriana had given her, a luxury apartment building downtown, only to find the unit empty, no forwarding information, as if Adriana Cole had never existed. Now, sitting in the coffee shop, Maya realized with growing horror that she'd walked into something far more complex than a simple revenge plot. The question was, who was playing whom? Lucas arrived exactly at noon, looking haggard but determined. He slid into the seat across from her, reaching for her hands. She let him take them, fighting the urge to recoil. Maya, he began, his voice breaking perfectly. I am so sorry. Save it, Maya said quietly. I didn't come here for apologies. Lucas blinked, surprised by her tone. Then why? I came to offer you a deal, Maya interrupted. She pulled out her phone, showing him a bank transfer screen. I drop all charges. You and Vanessa return what you stole, plus interest. You leave the city, change your names, and I never see either of you again. The real player emerges. Lucas stared at the screen, then at her. Why would you do that? Because I'm tired, Maya said, and for once, she meant it. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of this consuming my life. I want it over. You're lying, a voice said from behind her. Maya turned to find Vanessa standing there, immaculate in a cream pantsuit, her expression cold. She's lying, Lucas. This is a setup. It's not, Maya protested. But Vanessa cut her off. Adriana Cole doesn't exist, Vanessa said, pulling out a chair and sitting down uninvited. Or rather, she does exist, but not in the way you think. She smiled at Maya's shocked expression. Did you really think we wouldn't investigate who sent you that package? Adriana Cole is a private investigator, one we hired. Maya's world tilted. What? 6 months ago, Lucas explained, his apologetic mask dropping away completely. We realized you were smarter than the others. You asked too many questions about the business, wanted access to accounts we'd blocked. We needed you distracted, focused on something other than the money we were moving. He leaned back, completely calm now. So we hired Adriana to create a fake affair, fake evidence. Make you think we were conning you so you'd be too busy being betrayed to notice the real theft. The truth underneath the lies. Vanessa pulled out her own phone. While you and Adriana were planning your revenge, while you were focused on the accounts we'd stolen, we were actually emptying your offshore trust. The one your grandmother set up that doesn't go through probate, doesn't show up on standard background checks. She showed Maya a balance. 0. $23 million, transferred this morning. Maya felt sick. You're lying. Am I? Vanessa asked. Call your Swiss bank. Oh wait, you can't, because you gave Adriana your access codes last night, remember? When she said she needed them to freeze the accounts before we could reach them? She laughed. Adriana works for us, sweetie. She always has. Lucas stood, straightening his jacket. The wedding was always a distraction. The rehearsal dinner drama was planned. Every moment of betrayal you felt was designed to keep you from noticing the real play. He paused at the door. Thank you for being so predictable, Maya. Your righteous anger made this almost too easy. The reversal. They were almost to the door when Maya spoke, her voice steady. Adriana doesn't work for you. They both stopped. She works for the FBI, Maya continued, standing. And you just confessed to wire fraud, conspiracy, and theft across state lines in front of 4 federal agents. She gestured to the other customers, who were now standing, badges visible. And it's all recorded. The color drained from Lucas's face. Vanessa actually stumbled backward. Adriana Cole is real, Maya said. She really did lose everything to you two. But after you destroyed her, she didn't just rebuild her life. She joined the FBI's white-collar crime division. She's been hunting you for 2 years, building cases, tracking your victims. Maya walked toward them slowly. Every word you just said, every confession about hiring fake investigators, about the offshore accounts, about the pattern of fraud, it's all evidence. And it's all recorded. Special Agent Adriana Cole emerged from the back of the coffee shop, flanked by 2 other agents, her badge gleaming. Lucas Brennan and Vanessa Grant. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, and theft. You have the right to remain silent. The final piece. As the agents handcuffed them, Vanessa snarled at Maya, "You can't prove the offshore accounts exist. They're under corporate shells. You'll never find them." Maya smiled. "We don't have to find them. You're going to tell us exactly where they are." "Why would we do that?" "Because," Adriana said, Stepping forward, we have evidence linking you to the death of your first victim, the widow in Seattle who supposedly committed suicide after you bankrupted her. She held up a file. New evidence, a suicide note that was actually written on your laptop, Vanessa. Your fingerprints on the pill bottle. Security footage Lucas thought he'd erased. Lucas's face went white. That was an accident. She was supposed to just... Shut up, Vanessa hissed, but it was too late. She was supposed to just what? Adriana pressed. Just give up? Just die quietly after you'd stolen everything from her? She leaned close. You're not just looking at fraud charges anymore. You're looking at murder. 6 months later, Maya stood in the courtroom as the judge read the verdict, on all counts, guilty. Lucas and Vanessa were sentenced to 25 years each in federal prison. The recovered funds were divided among their 6 victims, including a widow's children who finally got justice for their mother. Outside the courthouse, Adriana found Maya on the steps. How are you holding up? Better, Maya said honestly. My grandmother's trust was mostly recovered. The therapy helps. And knowing they can't hurt anyone else? She trailed off. Thank you. For everything. Thank you, Adriana corrected. You're the one who stayed strong through all of it. You're the one who let them think they'd won so we could catch them confessing. Maya looked at the courthouse. Do you think they ever really loved anyone? Or was it always just about the money? I think people like them don't know how to love, Adriana said. They only know how to take. The new beginning. 3 months after the trial, Maya opened the doors to the Survivors Network, a nonprofit providing legal and financial assistance to fraud victims. The office was small, but bright, funded partly by her recovered assets and partly by donations from others who'd been conned. Her first client was a woman in her 50s whose fiancé had stolen her retirement savings. As Maya listened to her story, seeing her own pain reflected in a stranger's eyes, she realized something. Lucas and Vanessa had tried to destroy her, but they'd actually given her purpose. That evening, Maya's phone buzzed with a text from Adriana. Another case just came across my desk. Couple in Miami, running the same con. Interested in consulting? Maya thought about the woman from earlier, about all the other victims out there, still hurting, still unaware they were being hunted. She thought about how rage had almost consumed her, but purpose had saved her. She typed back, "When do we start?" The twist in the tale. But in a federal prison 3 states away, Vanessa sat in her cell, writing a letter. Not to Lucas. He'd tried to blame everything on her during the trial, and she was done protecting him. No, this letter was to someone else. Someone they'd both underestimated. Dear Adriana, she wrote, I know you think you've won, but you were right about one thing. I am smarter than you think. The offshore accounts you recovered, those were the decoys. The real money, the money from all 6 victims, plus a dozen more you never found. That money is somewhere you'll never reach it. And in 7 years, when I'm eligible for early release on good behavior, I'm going to walk out of here and collect every penny. She paused, considering her next words carefully. You taught me an important lesson. Revenge isn't about anger. It's about patience. So I'll wait. I'll be the model prisoner. And one day, when you've forgotten about me, when you think this is over, I'll be there, watching, waiting, ready to take back everything you took from me. She sealed the letter, smiled, and went to sleep. Because the game wasn't over, it was only just beginning.